Salmon is such a popular fish these days, and this recipe, where it's prepared in a foil packet with potatoes and pesto, guarantees that it stays nice and moist and really delicious. To start with, we need to prepare the potatoes. I'm going to take the ends off these potatoes so that they sit flat in the food processor. To slice these potatoes, we're going to be using a slicing disc, the 4mm slicing disc. The potatoes are all ready. Now let's put the Prep 7 food processor together. I'm going to be using the 4mm slicing disc. That goes right in, and turn it until it engages. And then the top goes on. I'm going to put the potato in. It's as simple as that. Now here, the second potato. There's the third. All right, that piece of work is done. The potatoes are all squared away. Let me set them aside, and we'll move on to the salmon. The salmon needs to be seasoned. That's true of any food that you prepare. So I've got some salt here, and fresh ground black pepper. And with a piece of fish this thick, it's a good idea to season both sides of the fish. Okay, now let me show you how to put these packets together. I've got some foil here, and to make sure that the food doesn't stick, I'm going to oil it very lightly with some olive oil. Now, take some of the potatoes and lay them out in the center of the foil, and we have some pesto that I prepared earlier in the food processor. The recipe's in your recipe booklet. It goes very, very quickly. Take a small amount of the pesto and just use it to season the potatoes. Now a piece of salmon and a little bit more of the pesto right on top. To guarantee that this fish stays moist, we're going to seal it inside of a foil packet. Bring the two sides of the foil up and around the fish, fold it over by about 1 inch and crimp it, and then fold it over again and one more time. Now bring the edges in from the side, 1/2 inch at a time, and that's ready to go into the oven. Let me show you that one more time. Here's the foil. Make sure you don't forget to oil the foil, otherwise your food will stick. Now, bring the potatoes over and make a nice bed for your salmon. Season the potatoes again with a little bit of the pesto. Piece of salmon right on the top, and just a little more pesto. Bring the two edges up, fold it over by about 1 inch, crimp it well, and then continue to fold it down. And bring the edges in about 1/2 inch folds. This guarantees that the salmon will stay nice and moist as it steams in its own juices. There we are. Now, these are ready to go into the oven. I've got them in a pan. They should cook at about 400 degrees for about 18 minutes. Okay, let's have a look and see how our salmon is doing. You want to take care to pierce this once or twice to let some of the steam out, because when you open it up, it may well be pretty hot. It smells incredible. There we are. Okay, I've got a plate all ready to go. For a little added garnish, I'm going to shred some basil very, very fine into what's known as a chiffonade. I've got some basil leaves that I stacked one on top of the other, and I'm going to roll them up nice and tight and then slice them very, very thin. This guarantees that the herb doesn't turn black as it sits. There's an enzyme that will react to air. I think it also gives it a nice light look. And then we'll sprinkle the basil on top of the salmon. There it is, dinner, start to finish in about 20 minutes.